pretty tough way to end the game in Lawrence the other night. You had him right there, toe-to-toe at the very end. I know there were some controversial calls. Just kind of what was your primary takeaway, especially looking how you guys played in the first game against your guys, but how they competed for 40 minutes in Lawrence?
I thought they gave a great effort. I thought they gave a winning effort. I thought they played their tails off. I thought our guys went out there, competed for the 40 minutes, and that's what you want to see. And I was, proud of our effort. I said what we have to have every time we step foot on the court, and our guys exhibited that.
Hey, Coach, you guys took Houston when you guys played Houston to halftime with the lead, a ranked Houston team, and now you guys took Kansas to halftime with the lead. What do you guys need to do to finish out those games and make sure that you guys hold on to the lead to end it?
Well, we have to be better, with understanding, situations in our sport, like understanding time and score, making sure we're getting the right looks that we want to get during those times, making sure we're getting the right stops and rebounds that we need. Those things will really help us in those situations.
What was the biggest difference you noticed in your team between the Kansas match here versus the Kansas match there?
I thought we give Kansas credit. The first game here, I thought they played, phenomenal basketball, and they forced us into some things that we didn't want to do. This game, I thought we came out with a better mindset to make sure we, continue to play the way we wanted to play, our style of play, and didn't get lulled into playing another system. And I thought that was kind of probably why we were a little more productive as far as what we were doing, on both sides of the basketball this time.
Johnny, you said this before, that going to the Big 12 night in and night out, it's like playing an NCAA tournament game every night, it seems like. What do you guys, when you look at the rest of the schedule, I know you don't look that far down the road, but I mean, every game it seems like is going to be a tournament type game for you guys moving forward. How do you guys prepare for that and make sure you're ready to face that and try to get those kind of wins?
It's all about mindset. Everything's controlled by our attitude. We need to come out there with the right mindset. We know that every team's going to be highly competitive, and we need to make sure we're ready to match that. You can't come out there with anything less than a mindset that I got to get ready to give 100% out here, because I know the other player that I'm going against will be giving 100%. And so that kind of mindset, I think, helps us. We need to make sure we come out prepared. We need to make sure we're taking care of our bodies right now, make sure that we're practicing all the things that we need to do to improve. And I think we are. I think we still have room to get better with this group. It's just a function of us coming in every day diligently working on the things that we can improve. And if we do that, as this month continues on, we have a chance to get better.
Looking ahead, BYU's point guard Igor Demin is 6'9". How do you prepare for a player of his size and with his ability to facilitate the ball?
Well, he's a terrific young player, and we're going to guard him like we guard everyone else. It's not, we don't really change our schemes for guys' heights or anything like that. We're going to play the way we play, and that's what we've tried to always do. And he's a terrific young player. He's got a chance to be great, and but we're going to guard the way we normally defend, and then our guys need to be ready to rotate and play the defense that we'll establish for that game.
Staying with BYU, what's going to be the message to your team looking ahead to this Big 12 matchup?
The same as what now?
What's going to be the message to your team looking ahead to this BYU matchup?
For us, it's just, it's an important game for us. It's a home game. We want to take care of home, so our guys need to come out and with the mindset that, hey, we need to take care and defend our home court. And then we, with that, we need our student section and Night Nation to come out and give us the, kind of, support that they've been giving us all year. I think we've had a good home court environment because, a large part because of them. Their ability to come out, their energy, their enthusiasm has been amazing. And so we need them again. We need them, as we round out Big 12 play, we need these guys coming out with a lot of energy, like I said before, a lot of enthusiasm, and that makes a difference. And so, excited about, competing, of course, we all are, but I'm excited about Night Nation coming in, filling this arena up so that we have a chance to be very competitive.
How would you evaluate Mustafa's continued development, especially coming off going head-to-head against one of the league's best centers in Hunter Dickinson?
I think, you watch from the first game to the second game, you can see his growth. And I think everyone's watching him improve right in front of our eyes. He's starting to blossom. And that's what you expect, from a young, talented player. I mean, he's going through Big 12 play for the first time. We talked about before the pace of play, the physicality. He's having to adjust to all of those things, and he's a reclassed freshman. So for him, I mean, it's been a bigger adjustment than most people would face as a freshman because he was younger. But he's starting to figure some things out. He's on his best basketball still ahead of him, as he continues to get stronger and continues to get a feel for what the league is about, he'll continue to improve. But I'm excited about it. He's been getting more and more productive. He's making more and more plays, both offensively and defensively. And like I said, I think the best is still yet to come for him.
BYU's last 3 games, they've scored at least 80. They held Cincinnati and Colorado under 65. So in scouting them, what's kind of stood out about the way they've improved over the last few games?
Well, they defend well. They're long. They're active. And so those are the things that really stand out to me is their length, their activity. And they know what they're doing. They have a good idea what their defensive schemes are. I think that's really helped contribute them to have success defensively.
Coach, you've had your bench put up single-digit points the past couple of games. How are you looking at that in terms of just comfortable with how things are going, or what do you want to see from your bench players as far as offensively?
The main thing I want to see them come in and be steady for us, and making sure that you're taking care of the basketball, making sure that you are where you're supposed to be defensively, more so than scoring points. If they score, that's great, But the main thing is defending, rebounding, and make sure we're running good offense. And then, like I said, these guys are all good players. They're capable scorers. If they have their looks out, I'm confident they can knock them down.
Coach, it was a tough loss, but how do you guys plan on putting your mindset back together and getting back to 500 and during this 2-game home stretch?
Well, we have to regroup. As I've said, many occasions here, we have to regroup and we have to respond. It's that simple. It's very, basic, but that's where you are in the Big 12 play. Every game is going to be, it's independent game. You have to take it that one game at a time, and you try to, put your best foot forward. And that's what we have to do, going to this next game. We took a tough loss, but we have to regroup, and that's what basketball is about.
And how do you get past the frustration of a tough loss, especially on the road against a ranked Kansas team?
Well, you have to have a short memory in that regard. You have to understand that you can't do anything about what happened in the past. I can't look back at that. That's gone. Next thing I see is an opportunity that's in front of us, and so I try to coach our guys in that same regard. Can't do anything about it. It was a hard-fought game, tough loss. So take the lessons that we'll learn from that game and you apply them going forward to the next game.
Speaking of that, it seems like your team's taken an us against the world mentality. How do you take that and use it in your next games in a positive way?
Well, I think, basically anytime you have a team, it's you rallying around your group. And so our guys that's our group, that's our family. And so we're going to rally around each other. We're going to play for each other. And that's what we've tried to do. And so we're going to continue to do that, every time we go out and play, because it's just the group that's on the floor, in our student section and people that are our supporters. So we're going to rally around them and they'll rally around us, and we're going to try to go out there with a good product to compete.
Coach Richie Saunders, a big role player for BYU, ranks 2nd right now in the Big 12 for 3-point field goal shooting percentage. How do you guys plan on stopping him?
Well, we have to make sure we know where he is at all times. Like I said, we have to keep 10 eyes on him everywhere he is, because if you lose him for a split second, he has a shot off and it's up. He's really good. He got a quick release. We have to make sure we know where he is at all times.
Coach JJ Taylor, I'm not sure I saw him the other night. What's his status?
JJ's still day to day. He's a little under the weather.
Okay.
And so, this time of year that happens. And so, hopefully, he'll be feeling better.
And Jalen Sellers, I know he's been out for a long time. I know you probably wouldn't tell us even if he was coming back the next game, but being out for so long, is the medical red shirt, is that something that's being considered for him right now?
I haven't thought about what's going on with regards to other than he's day to day. I don't really. It's, we're trying to coach our guys and trying to win games, and hopefully he'll continue to get healthy, and, when he's able to come out and contribute, he will. He's a competitor. He wants to be out there. It hurts him as much as anyone that he can't get out there and compete. And but yeah, we haven't thought about any of those things other than just trying to, thinking about BYU.
It looked like Jalen did go through some warm-ups again before the Kansas game. So is he close to being ready to compete?
I don't know exactly his status other than he's day to day. It's hard to say.
Johnny, I know you're focused on the next game and everything, but do you look at the Big 12 as a whole, as a picture, as the season starts to wind down, to maybe in your mind how you guys want to attack things over the next couple weeks, especially with the possibility of an NCAA tournament bid kind of up there?
For us, we're taking it just one game at a time. All we're going to do is look at who's in front of us, and we're going to focus on them with everything that we have and try to have a great outcome in those games. That's the way we've approached the whole season, and we're not going to change that now for us. It's one game at a time, and then we'll keep moving forward from there.
Coach, you faced BYU 3 times last season. Of course, the team that knocked you guys out of the Big 12 tournament. You have Cincinnati, of course, lost twice to them last year. What's the biggest difference between facing them last year versus facing them now?
They have a different coach, so they have a little bit different system than they had last year. They still have tremendous shooters. They still are very skilled at almost all their positions, so that stays the same. But they run different things than they ran last year. Defensively, they do some things a little different than they did last year as well.
Coach, you mentioned when you guys played Kansas at home, they took you out of your game plan, they took you out of your system. When you played Kansas on the road, you guys shot a ton of threes. It seems like to live and die by the three. Was that sort of the game plan going into that game, or was that what you guys just had?
Nope, it's what we had. We're always going to take what the defense gives us. We have skilled players, guys that can make plays, guys that can make shots, and we just take them what we see is available for us at that time. It could be something different, another ball game. It could be different, against Kansas another time. But we just taking, advantage of the opportunities that we see in front of us. We try to coach our team in that regard.
And talking about the scoring, Keyshawn Hall scored 34 points. Talk about how he's blossomed into a true scorer for this team.
He's been terrific. Watching him grow and develop under our system has been really good. We were thinking our system would be good for him, and I think it has been. I think he's starting to really blossom as he starts to understand what he can really take advantage of and how we run our system. So really excited, and he's been terrific for us. I mean, he's put us in position to be in a lot of games and to win a lot of games, and like I said, I think his best basketball is still ahead of him actually. And watching him play, he's still not where I know he can be. It's just a function of him continuing to come in every day like he does. He works on his game all the time, but his best basketball still is ahead of him.
Maybe kind of back and forth, home, road. How important is it now to be home for 2 games, and how important is this upcoming homestand and trying to reestablishing yourself in the Big 12?
What's important? It's important, to be home and, make sure that's what I'm saying, that we need everyone. We need all hands on deck. We need our community to come out. We need Night Nation to come out. I mean, these are opportunities, but I think we all have to be in this thing together. It can't just be our team. And I think if everyone can rally around us in those situations, our guys will come out and give a winning effort every time. They're going to compete, that. And so, but we need everybody. And so our guys, understand that. We're looking at just one game at a time. So I'm not looking, all I know is BYU. I'm not even, I don't know who's next. I don't care. It's one game at a time. It's my approach. And that's how we're going to approach it. And I don't want my players looking past one game at a time, because that's how I think you kind of get tripped up when you do that. Just stay in the moment. Who's next? That's who you're preparing for. You pour all your energy into that team.
Coach, we know there's no moral victories in basketball if it's not just a win. But how do you feel about the guys knowing that they compete, and how do the guys feel knowing that they can compete with the top competition in this conference in terms of ranking?
Well, I think it was good for our guys. We've been some competitive games against some really talented teams, and that's good for our guys to see that they're capable of competing with them. I mean, I think that's a good thing. You don't want to go in any situation don't think you can win or don't think you can compete. And so our guys, I think, haven't been in these situations, realize that they can. And that's a function of not just being able to compete, but it's also about the winning. And that's, like you said, there's no moral victories in our sport. So it's all about winning. And so we have to, turn those, competitive games into, wins that go on in our column. And that's something that we have to continue to work toward. And that's what you should want to work toward as a player, as a competitor. But why do you play the sport, And so I think it's all about that. And I think our guys are understanding that as we start to, get to this point in the season.
All set?
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
guys.
Feeling a little bit